Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast. And now, here are the boys of Steelers Realm.
Hey, Steeler Nation, what's going on, man? Happy week to you. Thanks for joining us once again for Steelers Realm Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, JT. Mixing things up tonight on hiatus this week. TA, he's out on assignment, man. So, we'll miss you, buddy. Good luck with your adventures out there. But, we are joined with our regular gang, starting with over there, still in Browns country, too. Freight Train, what's up, buddy? How you doing this week, man?
Hey, what's happening, JT? How you been, buddy? Glad you're back this week after your little mini vacation.
I had a little getaway time.
Yes, you did, and I'm ready to get back into talking some Steelers football. What's up, Steelers Nation?
Yeah, and also joining us tonight, CJ as well too, brother. What's up, man? How was your week?
Not too bad. JT, did you like those 20 seconds off last weekend? I actually feel like you had more work to do.
Yeah, no, it was okay though. We had a lot of fun. Hey, just want to give a shout out to Golden State. Congrats on a good win. I don't know how where you guys stand. I know some of the Ohio guys over there. I don't know, but Boston,
who cares?
Yeah,
watch you be totally wrong, and we just have to delete this part. Anyway, I'd like take time. I'd like to take time. Father's Day, all the fathers out there that listen, happy Father's Day. I'd like to thank my father for raising me a Steelers fan, not a fucking Browns fan. And that's going to take us right into a new segment, Jagoff of the Week.
Down.
Who knew the first Jagoff of the Week would be, you guessed it, Deshaun Watson. Surprise.
If it wasn't for Deshaun Watson or Cleveland Browns, it would have to be, it always falls back to AB. But of course, he just can't get out of the news, and the Browns just can't get out of their way, man. What a story that just continues. I don't know.
24 lawsuits, 2 more expected. It's unbelievable. And you know what? The Browns mortgaged the future. Old Jimmy Haslam at the helm. Mr. Flying J himself just gave the Browns a very nice future. Anyway.
Boy, I could not imagine the feeling of thinking you finally reeled in your franchise quarterback, and every single week rolls around, bam, 2 more lawsuits pending, and you don't even know if he's going to see the field next year. Everybody knows my thoughts from the prior episode. It's just a long list of problems with this guy that just really isn't worth the risk. And now the Houston Texans aren't even out of the water because they were setting up appointments for him. So who knows where this is going to go?
Read about it, looked into it. They have plausible deniability. They're probably going to get sued at some point. They'll win in court. But someone knew something in that Texas locker room. I'd be curious. And you know what's crazy? And I'm being serious here. We haven't heard from any of the former players. Nothing. And that's the thing that kind of strikes me the most. Where did this come from? Who has something to say? Did they know? It's not like Deshaun Watson was perceived as a bad guy prior to all this stuff coming out. He was a great teammate. I'd be curious to see what someone like J.J. Watt has to say. about this. I'm being serious. Why is no one pressuring his former teammates to say something about this?
Well, sometimes people have monsters within them that are really, really good at hiding. And this could be one of those, it just amazes me, and the thing is, it could go both ways. Like, I feel like these women weren't necessarily pressured into doing anything, but at the same time, nobody was there. We don't know the exact situation. Who knows? There's a crap ton of money involved, I'll tell you that much. So it's interesting to see where this goes, and it's definitely interesting because the team that he's on is one of our rivals. So I'm just hoping and praying they have to go with Jacoby Brissett.
Tell you
How long
what,
is this
Duck
gonna go on?
Hodges, I DM'd you earlier today. There's a chance for you, brother. There's a chance for you. But in all seriousness, anytime you see a scandal or something this controversial, the people around the person get asked questions, right? 100% of the time. No media members going back through those Houston, Texas locker rooms and asking the questions. Nobody. Did anyone in the Houston, Texas organization that was a former player with Deshaun Watson know anything about what was going on?
Hard to say.
Well, we will never know because no one's asking the question.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that bothers me the most.
Well, I'm sure we have not heard the end of this yet. It's only going to get worse. So I'm sure this won't be the last appearance on the Jagoff of the week either. I'm sure there's more to come. This game may never play for the Cleveland Browns. I don't know.
I hope not. That'd be hilarious.
I really don't think so.
It'd be hilarious.
Yeah, definitely would. Well, hey, listen, guys, we get lots to talk about tonight. It was kind of quiet earlier, and then all of a sudden, boom! Now we have a whole bunch to talk about to share with you, and of course, there are thoughts out there. Before we do, though, you guys, I want to mention, men's grooming. Kind of embarrassing topic. Some men are a little shy about talking about keeping things nice and trimmed up down there. But hey, with Manscaped, they have the perfect tools for those jewels down there. They're a promotional partner of Steelers Realm Podcast. And, it's something you should really check out. They're nice little tools. They're not, they take care of it. The lawnmower, buddy, that's it, man. That keeps you all nice and shiny for the missus. Definitely. So, head out to manscaped.com. We had a special code for you. It's Realm20, REALM 20. We can see it down below there. And get 20% off plus free shipping for some of their products too. Check that out. Also, a nice little hair trimmer. They call it the whacker, the weed whacker, the little nose hair, ear hair trimmer. So, hey, those ladies like it too. So get 20% off and free shipping, manscaped.com with the promo Realm20. So thank you, Manscaped. They have also hooked us up with a mighty fun little package of accessories for men's grooming too. So help us out, Steeler Nation. Pick it up. Hey, the perfect time, guys, too. Father's Day coming up, right? Don't know what to get Dad. I don't know. How about your dad? My dad could use the weed whacker in his ears, though. He's got more hair in his ears than he does on his head. But anyhow, up ahead, guys. Hey, we're going to jump into this week's big news, obviously. And then we're starting a new segment this week, guys. Pretty excited about. We've been talking about. It's working up to it. We're going to call it, this week's positional breakdown. Each week we'll go in and break down a little bit different position. Stay tuned to figure out who we do this week, but also another segment too. History forged in steel. along with inside the realm, other news, and as we go outside the realm too. So that's a look ahead, guys. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into the big news of the week. Freight Train. Of course, everybody's heard it. Every other post on social media is about it. We locked him up, dude. High priority. He's ours for the next, 5 years, right?
Yes, 5 years. Boy, thank goodness we don't have to hear about this anymore. We got him locked up. Omar was a man of his word, baby. You want to be here? We're going to find a way to pay you. We're not going to drag this on any longer than we need to. You know we want you. You want to stay. Let's get it done. 4-year extension, $73.6 million, $36 million of it guaranteed at signing. That makes him the highest paid safety in the NFL. I'm pretty sure the highest paid safety in the history of the NFL. Well deserved. Well deserved. He's what makes the ball go around on this defense. Him and TJ Watt locks it down that back end for the next 5 years. Excellent, excellent job. Omar deserves a round of applause.
Does he deserve a round of applause? It was a layup. In all seriousness, right? They mortgaged a first-round pick for Minkah.
Yeah. You got chastised quite a bit.
I'm not giving him a round of applause. He did what needed to be done. I like the signing. I love Minkah as a player. This was the layup for the first official Omar Khan putting his fingerprints on the team. Now, I need more of first-year Minkah than third-year Minkah with the Steelers. I need to see more splash plays. I need to see him make a bigger impact on the game. Now, the football fell into his hands very much so that first year. He was at the right place at the right time. That's more than I want to see. If you want to be the highest paid safety in NFL football, you need to be out there, you need to be doing your job, and you need to fall into luck. Now, if he doesn't, he's kind of the average Minkah. All right, still fine with me. I'm just saying what I want to see. Good contract.
Hey.
I love it. I love that they're locking up young talent.
I give Omar a round of applause because he didn't drag it on. Okay, the old way of doing things, especially with Kevin Colbert, was we'll get something done in camp. Just come in, we'll kind of drag our feet, see what we can do then. Omar came in and got it done. Okay, there was no waiting around. Now making it come in and not just stick to individual workouts. He's got his money. He can get in there with the unit and get it done. As far as I'm very confident in Minkah. He led the team in tackles last year with some mediocre, linebacker play. He didn't have that opportunity to just sit there and wait for them things to fall into his lap. He had to go make plays, and that was go clean up the tackles before everything just kind of fell apart because we couldn't stop the run. How many times did Minkah stink his nose in there to at least stop him 15 yards downfield? He was there, made the plays. I think he was definitely worth the money. I'm not mad at all. I'm not
mad at all.
A
lot of Twitter is giving Omar Khan the intentional walk. Take your walk to first base. You've done a great job. You're scary, whatever. I look at it as like this. Internal talent that he's retained. I love it. I said it. He's the one that I wanted over DJ. I give him that. Which brings us kind of the next point. There's another very important piece to the Steelers team that might need a contract extension by training camp. And it's not DJ. It's Boswell, who's been a key component to this team. Right?
Would you say he's the second best, or at least second most clutch kicker in the NFL right now, behind Justin Tucker?
I don't know if I'd say top 2. I would say top 5 within a heartbeat. I think when you get, honestly, outside of Justin Tucker, 2 through like 10 are all the same. But 22 through 32, goddamn, that sucks to be in that position.
Yeah. Don't want
You
to
know what I
be
mean?
The thing that sets Chris Boswell apart is he kicks in Heinz Field. That's a tough place to kick historically. It's really bad. And he has very, very high percentages of making his kicks. When he comes in for a kick, I ain't even sweating, bro. I know it's going through the uprights. Okay, pay the man. I don't think he's worth Justin Tucker money, but he's up there.
Listen,
And it'll be interesting to
I'd
see.
rather overpay him and watch him kick than bring in someone like Presley Harvin, who you think's going to be good, and you're told so good, and then suck.
Well, and they
We'll
owe him
touch
some.
on that later.
Yeah,
We will touch on that later.
they need to pay Boswell as well because
I
whatever
agree.
that debacle was at the end of the season, they damn near got his head taken off on a random little pass play. Let's shove him a little extra bucks for taking a smacking there.
And that's why I love Tomlin. When that took place, he's like, yeah, I messed up. That was my fault. I was scared shitless for that man's health.
I thought he died.
Yeah,
I thought he
You're
died
not
right
the
there on the
only one.
sideline. Yeah.
So,
Well, hey
as
guys,
we-
you're kind of like heading right into that, into our new segment here with this week's positional breakdown. So we're talking hands team and kind of special teams here too, as well too. But if you're gonna crack one open, man, and share it with the rest of us. So,
my hands are here.
show us your hand check. Hand check. I heard a beer crack in there.
Well, it honestly was not me.
Right. All right. So anyhow, back to our subject. This week's positional breakdown segment. We got to feature the hands team, and of course, let's throw special teams in as the hands team as well too. Obviously, taking the lead on that story was the boss. Obviously, got to sign him. Well, what about the other punter we have? What's the deal there?
Well, I'll tell you what. Right now on the 95-man roster heading into camp, there's a guy by the name of Cameron Nizelek. He punted for the Atlanta Falcons last year. And if you put his stats versus Presley Harvin's stats, no names, no nothing. Guess who's better?
The other guy, not named Presley.
Yeah, the guy.
Cameron. It is Cameron. Now, small sample size. He punted for the Falcons week 1 through 5. And then I believe it was week 17. Excuse me. It was weeks 1 through 4. And then he was on the roster in week 16. Listen, I hated Presley Harvin. I thought they got better production from flipping the field when he was out. Now, I will say this. He lost his father at a very young age, very quickly, very unexpectedly. That's enough that can mess with your psyche and affect what you're doing in your everyday job, no matter what your profession is. If he looks like the guy that he was at Georgia Tech, I'm fully on board with bringing him back. You know, they drafted him. They believe in him. Mike T said, you know, I'm going to stand by this guy. I'm cool with that. Yeah. If though, he looks like the same exact guy that he was last year, he has to go.
I agree.
8 to 12 yards. 8 to 12 yards is the difference of losing in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
They know that. They know that.
Well, and Mike Tomlin screams that pretty much every single post game is how much football is a field position game. You kind of took the words right out of my mouth, CJ, of, Presley lost his father, which I couldn't imagine how that affected him. And we kind of saw that with Tua losing his brother, man. He couldn't come back. He wanted to do something else. And we saw a couple glimpses there from Presley before that situation of him booming the football. He's definitely got the leg. Okay. Let's kind of see what he does here in camp, but I'm with you too. There's no margin for error when it comes to a punter. You have to be able to get the ball out of there, and you have to be able to pin that other team back, because it is a game of field position, the most crucial aspect of the game.
No doubt. Remember the days of Josh Miller, man?
Hey,
I
couldn't agree more.
Oh man, it used to be pretty cool. It used to be on local Pittsburgh sports talk radio in the mornings. It was fun to hear. But I'll never forget some of those days where he shanked one, and he would run to the farthest corner of the line of the players aligned on the sideline, away from Coach Cowher, because it didn't matter. He would track him down. He'd get so pissed off, he'd go track him down. But yeah, so somebody who hasn't been talked about a lot, since we're talking about hands teams, guys, is our our veteran we picked up in the offseason, Gunner. Is he our new return guy, or do we have somebody else are we going to play with? What do you think there?
I think this is going to come down to one of those things where we've seen it in the past when it comes to the return game. It's not going to be what Gunner does, as bad as that sounds. It's going to be if some random corner steps up and says and plays well in the preseasons, and earns a position on the 53. I think Gunner is kind of in that weird spot as they've drafted, 2 wide receivers. They signed Anthony Miller, right? What does he bring to the game? That's someone that they just drafted. And Calvin Austin. I don't even think Gunner makes the team, honestly.
Well, this is where it would be nice if somebody would just come up with a crystal ball that you would be able to dictate what happens in the future. Okay. It was Gunner's job as soon as he got signed. I mean, he was an all-pro special teams player for the Patriots, not last year. Was it last year or the year before? And he played really well last year. We didn't know that Calvin Austin III was going to just fall into our lap right ahead of Baltimore with blazing saddle speed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a competition between the two. I think Gunner might have a leg up just for the simple fact he's done it before and he's done it well. Okay. One thing you don't really want, especially on punts, is somebody that hasn't done it before, and the last thing you want is them to muff. Okay, it has to be somebody that can show that they can consistently catch the football coming, with some different end over ends, and all them Aussie punters do whatever the hell they do when they kick the football. But I think Gunner has a position. He can play, he can tackle, he does it all. I mean, he was on Bill Belichick's team. He knows how to play special teams, and so I think it's down to the two of them.
CJ, thought?
I don't think we're talking enough about Miles Boykin and Anthony Miller. These are, Anthony Miller, his rookie year, comes in, 7 touchdowns, almost 700 yards, key red zone target. And
CJ, who was throwing him the ball?
I was just about ready to say that. Guess who was throwing him the football?
Guess
Mitch
who was
Trubisky.
throwing him the ball, CJ?
And you know what sets Miles Boykin apart from some of these other guys? He's 6'4". He's got size.
Yeah.
And that's important. I think that's very important. Having a big target in the red zone. You're going to have a young quarterback no matter who's playing at some point. I still consider Mitch, Kissing Titties, Trubisky young. I'm just saying, I think that kind of leaves Gunner kind of the odd man out. That's my guess.
He's a Swiss Army knife, CJ. He's a Tomlin Swiss Army knife. We
yeah,
love those
and
guys.
I think the Mike Tomlin Swiss Army knife's getting a little dull. And he's going to have to replace it with someone else.
So, guys, you see what's going on here. We are setting up for what's going to be camp this year in Latrobe. So excited about that.
And I know we talked about wide receiver this week. I'm hoping we're going to talk O-line next week. But I believe these two positions are the most important position groups for the Steelers to be successful this year. We know what we're going to get with that defense, right? We got question marks.
Hope so.
Yes, we would hope so. We got question marks at O-line. Now, free agency looks to have filled some of them, but we still don't know where they're slotting in at. It's going to be different this year at wide receiver. Juju's gone, new quarterback, bunch of young guys, right? They're going to need gel.
And new guys. Yeah, we'll give them that. You guys, Pickens.
I think the only certainty on this offense, Freiermuth, Najee.
They really like Gentry too. They really like.
Oh
Gentry.
yeah. I'm talking from a skill position,
right.
Like who you can count on right now. We know these guys are going to be playing this.
Yeah, I still think Deontay's your number one.
Yeah, Deontay
too.
That's
one.
me being a dummy. But those three guys, that's it. You don't know about the other ones.
No, Chase Claypool has to come out and ball. Okay, he needs to come back and be the guy he was his rookie year. That's what it all boils down to. This is how this is all going to fall into line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
You were talking about Miles Boykins being that tall red zone target. That's supposed to be Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool is supposed to be that guy. He needed to take charge, and he did not last year. So it's a stretch to even say that he's even locked down that number two, because if we're going off last year, he made one too many mistakes to be considered your number two. You know, and it'll be interesting to see what happens when Pickens comes into camp and those two go at it together.
I got a question, and this directly involves Chase. Can you guys name a catch that wasn't a quick slant over the middle or a deep fade that he's ever made in his career? Like, seriously.
Yeah, that's tough.
You know what I mean? He's got to develop that route tree, and I think that's very important for him. I'm just saying, it's got to come. It's got to happen this year, and that's why I don't really count him in. When he's lined up in the slot, he's on a slant. When he's lined up outside, it's a deep fade. And then you know what? Maybe that'll change without Big Ben. I hope it changes. I hope he can make a bigger difference. He's great at one-on-one balls. Absolutely. It's not a knock on him.
Keep going. You're getting back around to where I was about to go with this, which is obviously the new Canada offense, right?
Yeah.
So could he be the best fit for that? Could this be like his breakout year where he becomes that kind of like that pseudo slash, we'll not use the Swiss Army knife analogy there, but kind of a pseudo slash and be the one to get all those pitches. And I don't know.
That seemed to be the name of his game last year.
Yeah, I hope so, because I think he's an athletic freak, and I think he's a great human being, and I want to see him succeed. But you can't run two routes and be a great wide receiver in the NFL.
No. No, so
No, and it'd be
his breakout year.
Yeah, because he has competition behind him. He has no choice. Okay. Pickens, we didn't draft him to sit number 3. Okay. He's potentially replacing either Claypool or Deontay. Most people would think Deontay. It's kind of the writing on the wall, but that's yet to be determined.
And I think with this offense, you're going to see Deontay exclusively in the slot. I think he killed it last year in the slot one-on-one with smaller corners. I think more of the question becomes, with these other wide receivers, are we seeing Chase Claypool getting a majority of the snaps on the outside, or are we seeing him lose his snaps to Boykins? Boykins had a heck of a year a few years back. He's no scrub, and as you guys said, this is direct competition for snaps. Do you want to get a second contract? And I think that's exactly what someone like Chase needs behind him, a veteran pushing him. If you look at his body, you look at his athleticism, and you say, hey, this guy's got the potential to be as great as he wants to be. And I hope he actually wants to be great, because I think with that just little bit of kick in the ass, he can be.
Well, same with Anthony Miller. Okay, he had a really good. He had some really good seasons with Mr. Trubisky in Chicago with Matt Nagy's offense. Call it how you will. He had some injury issues there. Hopefully, he cleared them up. But if any Steelers fans or if you guys saw the pictures of him in camp, he looks like a damn Ninja Turtle. I mean, he beefed up. He looks good. So let's see if it'll translate to the field, because he has some really, really good talent.
Awesome stuff, man. Hey, remains to be seen. And like I said, we're setting things up for what camp is to behold this year. I can't wait, man. So, hey, for those of you out there on social media that have reached out to us, we're still working through when we're going to try to get together and go down to camp. So we'll make sure to let everybody know about that as well in plenty of time, so that we can hook up with some of our regular listeners too. If you guys don't have anything else on the hands team for this week's positional breakdown, I'm looking forward to getting into the next new segment here, the history forged in steel. Before we do that, though, I want to give a shout out to us and ask you guys for some help. We have been nominated for Best Podcast in Pittsburgh area of the Pittsburgh City Paper. They do this every year. We're at about 1,000 categories out there too, so you can have some fun with it. But hey, give us a nominate. We're out there. We've been nominated. We appreciate those of you who did. You can go out there every day. The top 10 that receive the most nominations will go on for the judging. So we could use your help. Head out to just look up Best of Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh City Paper, Best of, and for 2022, and look up Steelers Realm. Click nominate for Best Podcast. We appreciate it, man.
Get out there and vote.
Yeah,
put
definitely.
It out there. Do a ballot for your dog and cat. Do it. See what happens.
And it helps out. We could certainly use the vote here too.
And now, it's time for Steelers Realm's History Forged in Steel.
All right, time for this week's History Forged in Steel. What do you got this time, Freight Train?
All right. June 1st, 1957. The team hired Lowell Perry as their receivers coach, and he became the first African-American assistant coach in the NFL modern era. That's where it started, right there.
Nice.
And then on June 22nd, 1949, the safety that's never talked about in the 1970s, Mike Wagner, was born. Happy 73rd birthday to Mike.
There you go, Mike. Happy birthday, buddy.
And then on June 30th, 1909, Forbes Field, which would become the Steelers' first home field in 1933, was open to the public.
Nice. Good stuff. Good
It's a
stuff.
classic
Look forward
field.
I think, and you know what's interesting about your last point there, I think when you hear Forbes Field, your first thought is the Pittsburgh Pirates.
baseball, man.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
such a
yeah.
historic event for the Pirates. And I don't think enough people know that the Steelers actually played there. And I think that's it's a very cool thing, and you know, I love it. But whatever. And I actually, you know what? I'll go with the Pirates that. They can be known for Forbes Field. We'll give the Steelers everything else. Can we please move on after that?
Yes. Yes, definitely too. So well, hey, more coming up, guys. How we looking for time? Pretty good so far. So hey, listen, we got Juju is back in town again too. So while we're inside the realm here, Juju was back in town. I saw a bunch of posts about him with his final farewell to Pittsburgh. What is going on with that? What's the scoop there, guys?
He came back. He came back to do a charity event, which is very Juju-like. He signed autographs for every fan that was in line. You know, Juju got a lot of shit for his TikTok and everything else, all that other. But when it came to being a human, a person, and helping people in the community, there's no better person. All I need to know about Juju was, you know, when he had his shoulder injury last year and he came back for the playoff game when no one expected him to, he could have packed it up. He could have said, you know, screw it. I'm signing as a free agent, whatever. You know, I think that speaks volumes about himself. And I think if you look at where he signed with the Chiefs, it speaks to him wanting to win.
Oh yeah, of course.
And you know what? He took some slack, like I said, for the TikTok stuff. Rightfully so. But then when Juju Smith-Schuster's on the field, he's there to play hard-nosed football.
Yeah, absolutely. Juju was a fan favorite, and he loved the city of Pittsburgh, and you could tell it, man. He went out there every Sunday and gave it his all. I think it bodes to how he is as a person by staying. He canceled a flight back to Kansas City because there were still people in line that didn't get a chance to see him or say goodbye. You know, and Kansas City is a great opportunity for him, you know, to kind of get back on track, you know, and show everybody that he can stay healthy and have a chance to win. I don't think anybody deserves more to win than Juju does. You know, he's always in a great mood. He doesn't say no, you know. And the thing that I loved the most before he got back on a plane to head back to Kansas City was he left the door open for a return. And I have to say, why not? Okay, we can ride Deontay out one more year, see what happens. Juju wants to come back, showed he was healthy, and put up good numbers. Because, listen, Juju is a hard-nosed player. He's a Pittsburgh Steeler. He ain't no Kansas City Chief. He's a Pittsburgh Steeler. He put his nose in there, blocked in the run game. You know, he did everything.
I got
Why
a
not bring him back?
question for you guys. Let's say 4 years ago. No, actually, let's go back. Let's go 8 years ago. Juju Smith-Schuster's drafted in the second round by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he gets to play with Prime Ben. What kind of numbers do you think he puts up? Because in Ben's last real year where he was healthy, he put up some crazy numbers as a rookie.
Yeah. Yeah, Juju knows how to get open, and he can make the tough catches. Ben just had to throw it out there for him. He went up and got it. Now, mind you, call it how it is. He did have AB out there with him. AB demanded a lot of attention, so that could have a little bit to do with it as well. But Juju definitely.
Well, the naysayers will always use that. Hey,
he still had almost 1,000 yards receiving without Antonio Brown on that other side. So, granted, the line that receivers get judged up for is, well, did you get over 1,000 yards? Did you have over 100-some catches? Well, no, but he did make a lot of big plays, splash plays, played hard, did all the stuff that didn't show up on a stat sheet. That's where I wouldn't mind having Juju come back, because you know who else did that? Hines Ward did a lot of stuff that didn't show up on a stat sheet.
Right.
He was just tough. He came to play football. And that's ultimately what Juju does.
They changed the rules for Hines.
Yeah, they did.
Listen, Hines
Could
changed
you imagine Juju back in those days? You watch how he laid Perfect out and put his ass to rest. Could you imagine his other poor sorry suckers?
So my two favorite pictures, those two. Earhole.
Him when
both hits
when
were against
stood,
the Cincinnati Bengals too.
Mm-hmm. When he stood over him, I was like, you know what? That's payback. That's payback for the AB hit. And then, that went the wrong way with Mr. AB, Mr. Big Chest. But I concede. I love Juju. I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, all
Absolutely.
around good guy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
he makes it easy to root for him.
He's gonna be like a Yammer Yager.
Yes, he's gonna put up stupid numbers somewhere else, and you're just
coming around every decade
man.
and joins the team again.
He is gonna put over. All right, I'm gonna throw my prediction out there right now on his stat line if he stays healthy. Okay, 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns, 95 catches.
Oh, I'm giving him over 100 catches. Definitely over 100 catches.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if he doesn't have a year like that.
Yep, he'll go have a big year, and, well, maybe we can just re-sign tennis balls. See what happens,
I'm cool with tennis balls, man.
Well, listen, guys, we're kind of up against it here. Before we get into our outside the realm segment, I know we got at least one topic that we want to hit before we take it on out of here too. But want to remind you guys, hey, of course, we're based at SteelersRealm.com anytime. Of course, you can get our Facebook or our podcast anywhere you get your podcast, as well as Apple Music, Spotify, you name it, we're on it. Also Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify. Like I said, we're just about everywhere. And don't forget to check out our, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out here, Freight Train, too. Our new Facebook Steelers group, Steelers Nation Local number 724, for that other area code in Western PA. So stop by, check us out. New members joining every day, and some great input on that. How about it, guys? That's been growing pretty good. Having a lot of fun with it too. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Give us a follow. Facebook, Twitter, whatever. We want to be a little more interactive, especially here in the off season. You have a question, we'll feature you guys. We'll get your name out there. We'll answer it directly on Facebook. We're here for you guys. You guys, the listener, are the most important part of this show. So we're here for you. Anything that you want to talk about, we're going to try to maybe do a meetup when it comes to training camp. We'd love all of our listeners to be there. We got to get that ironed out ourselves when it works into our schedule. But, hey, we couldn't do this without you guys. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Go out there, go on to Facebook, make a post. Let's get talking. I mean, let's get interactive, Don't be afraid to put something out there. Nobody's going to think it's dumb. Nobody's going to hate you because you wasted everybody's time with some little silly post. No, let's get talking. Let's have some fun.
Absolutely. Before we get out, before we take it on out of there, we did have one. I know one of you guys was pretty excited. Was it you, Freight Train? Had something that you wanted to share before we wrapped it up there regarding Outside the Realm.
Yes, I am so excited for Thursday night football. Richard Sherman is going to be an analyst, and I'm just praying that Amazon doesn't mess this up and not bring in Michael Crabtree with him, because it'll be real interesting with those two together. I mean, Richard Sherman might mess up. I mean, you stick him on a sorry receiver like Crabtree, you know what you're going to get. So it'll be real interesting to see what happens there.
We are 48 days away, and that sounds crazy. 48 days away from the Hall of Fame game.
Oh, wow.
It's unbelievable. It's so close. So
right around the corner, man.
Also,
right around the corner.
Drew Brees leaving NBC like that quick. Doesn't it raise a little bit of eyebrows?
Really?
Yeah. They officially broke up too.
He was talking about coming out of retirement.
Yeah, there's something weird there. Because he was calling Notre Dame games, and obviously he was a studio analyst on Sunday Night Football, the pregame show. There's something weird there to leave NBC that quickly.
Yeah. Well, maybe they just didn't like him. It's not something else. It's not something else. Not to change the subject here, but who's that Colts guy? He retired at a young age.
Oh, Khari Willis.
I saw something.
Mm-hmm. The safety. 26 years old.
26 years old.
3 years in the league, just decides, hey, that's it. And we're starting to see this trend of players retiring earlier. It's a real thing. We've experienced it in Pittsburgh. So it's interesting to see how much more we're going to see of this after guys maybe play out their rookie year. They don't want to sign not their rookie year, their rookie contract.
Right.
Yeah. It's interesting.
So is that the CTE thing? Is that the issue here, or his concern there, or?
No, he said he wants to pursue a future in ministry. He wants to lead people to Jesus, JT.
That's right. I did see that.
Yeah. So
hey, that's okay.
Good for him.
God bless him.
Yeah, good for him.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we need more people like him in this world.
That's right.
Now, do we want to talk about the holdout of training camp? It's going to happen. Terry McLaurin. I can't. First off, the Washington Commanders. You got Jack Del Rio getting fined by their head coach. You got them buying land. You got their owner. Well, their owner wasn't subpoenaed, but they wanted him to speak in front of Congress. But he can't because he's going on vacation to a country that doesn't have internet. And now we got them buying land. We got Terry McLaurin pulling out. They're not going to pay him. Hi. You want to talk about a franchise that just needs to disappear.
Debacle, to say the least.
They make the Pittsburgh Pirates look relevant. I mean,
yeah, they should have kept the name too.
Oh man, I don't know. And then
the football team, of
Can
football.
we talk about a future CTE guy
Sure.
and Tyreek Hill real quick? Did anyone see what he had to say?
No.
No,
Please
I
do
see
share.
that.
On a
Quickly,
podcast, he
up
said
against
that.
it here.
Yeah, I'll keep it quick. He said that Tua is more accurate than Patrick Mahomes, and he expects to put up bigger numbers with Tua.
Oh, please.
Okay, bud. Best of luck to you.
Well, that's his new teammate, so.
And
That's a
usually this
severe
is one of
case
those.
of CTE.
Oh, and usually
Wow.
this is one of those things where someone asks you something in a press conference, and what do you want them to say? This
Yeah,
was right out of the just like that. You know what? Maybe two is the next. Who knows what? But he hasn't shown it. He hasn't shown anyone.
Not at all. Not at all. And it's not like he's had slouch receivers either. Okay, he had Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker's no slouch. Mike Gesicki is one of the best tight ends in football that nobody talks about. So I don't know where Tyreek is getting it. I think it's right along with you with the CTE comment, because he's out of his skull if he thinks Tua is better than Mahomes. That's insanity.
They
I don't know,
they
man.
get something floating in off the coast. Partaking in
Mm-hmm.
a
Yeah.
little too much down there in Florida. I don't know. Or CTE. CTE
I'm blaming it on
or
the CTE.
THC.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Hey, well, we managed to do it. We managed to talk for almost an hour about not a whole lot in one of these. So what was going on this off season too. But hey, congrats to Minkah, man. How about it, guys? I don't think anybody in Steeler Nation is disappointed in that. The guy's a winner, man. He's humble. He's athletic. I think he's going to have a kind of a breakout year again this year. I think when we fill the holes. I think his situation was more a result of just trying to do too much to kind of keep things on the defense in check. You know what I mean?
He did a
Like
lot
we
of
keep doing.
compensating.
When your
Yeah.
safety is the leading tackler on your defense, there's a problem there.
Freight train,
Right.
as you both have alluded to, he being the leading tackler, yes, he got up in there and he made plays, but it felt like last year he had to overcompensate for a poor linebacker corps and a decimated internal defensive line. So it'll be interesting to see, as I said, can he get back to that first year Minkah where he's running around right place, right time. That's money that don't jingle. That's money that freaking folds, brother.
You got it.
Good.
Yes.
Good one. Hey, what do you
Yeah.
think number 43 is thinking about that?
That he wish he was born 10 years later.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Could you imagine Troy at a young age about this? Hey, something I want to talk about. Speaking of CTEs, but not this week. We'll save this for another week too. I saw it was brought up. We made some comments on social media about Freiermuth. You know, we're talking about the hands team and the amount of concussions. So let's talk about that next week if we get a chance to. But in the meantime, guys, hey, thanks for getting together. Kind of late notice. We all pulled it together though. So good to get with you. TA, take care, man. Hope you had a good, productive night, and you were able to get your assignment taken care of while you're on assignment. And we'll catch up with you next week. But in the meantime, Freight Train, Corey, have a great rest of your week, man, and weekend. Have a great Father's Day, all you fathers out there.
Hey,
thank you for bringing us
48 days away from some football. Let's start the countdown. Let's get excited. Let's enjoy this summer. Happy Father's
Yes.
Day, everyone.
And no more, for the love of God, thunderstorms for the state of Ohio. I think a double Dreco and this last one today is enough for us for a couple months. So can we just tone it down, please?
Yeah, really. Let you have some power and internet back. How about it?
Please.
Well, hey, guys.
Yeah. I feel like I'm Amish again.
Have a great Father's Day weekend, everyone. Careful in the hot tub. We'll see you next time. We're out of here.
Check back next week into the Steelers realm.